After making videos about all the hard parts about living in the van, figured it's fair for me to talk about the easiest parts, because my life doesn't just suck when I'm in here constantly. It's a good life, I love it, and honestly it wasn't really what I expected. When most people think about van life, they picture the expensive price, hot summers, cold winters, the tiny space, the lack of comfort. But somewhere along the way, I realized this lifestyle made one part of my life dramatically easier. Everyone thinks van life is all about traveling. And if you aren't traveling in your camper van, it sounds like a very difficult life. There's actually a few things that have become easier ever since I downsized my home, compared to living in a full-blown house. So I'm going to show you the things that I never thought I would actually love about van life. The biggest benefit I've noticed since moving into this van isn't saving money, it's saving time. Before I lived in a van, I'd wake up, I'd be in a huge time crunch to get to work, I'd scramble to make my breakfast, I'd throw it in the car, I would eat and drive at the same time, I'd make a huge mess because it's dark, get to work, I'd barely get to work on time, shoes untied, I left my belt in the car, get off work, drive all the way home, sit in traffic all the way home, I'd drive all the way back home and go to the nearby gym, end up falling asleep in the car in the gym parking lot, and by the time I got home it was pretty much already past my bedtime. It sucked. Now my commute is usually measured in minutes instead of hours. If my job site is an hour and a half away from home, that's an hour and a half driving to work and then back home. 3 hours every single day. 3 hours on the wheel is also very dangerous. You don't realize how dangerous driving is until you gotta drive for 3 hours a day. And that's not even including traffic, driving slow because of the icy roads. Those 3 hours of driving get turned into something much more valuable. That's another workout. That's another YouTube video. That could be 3 extra hours of sleep if I wanted to. People always ask me if it's worth it living in this van. And for me, getting my time back is probably the biggest advantage ever, especially with all these long hours that I'm working. And then once you get that time back, something else starts happening. When I first started thinking about van life, everyone told me I'd be giving up my comfort. And they were right. I gave up having a big kitchen. I gave up sleeping in a full-size bed. I gave up bathrooms completely. Nice big couch that I can sit on. An area where I can actually walk around. But the thing that I was really looking for, and I did this on purpose, was saving time. I spent a lot of hours driving to and from work. A lot of time to sit and think about how much time I'm actually spending just driving. 3 hours of driving every day, multiply that by 5 to 6 days a week. 15 hours, 18 hours. Besides the sleeping part, that's a full day right there, pretty much. I don't need to drive home now. I'm right where I need to be. If I'm on a campground by the job site and there's a gym right in between, I can work out and I can start my workout within minutes. I don't gotta fight traffic at all anymore. These extra hours don't just disappear. They get invested somewhere else. Living in a van doesn't really let you be lazy. At least not for very long. I will start to lose my sanity. If I sleep in, if I skip the gym, I'm gonna pay the price. I can't just tell myself that I'll go later, because later I'm working. Then after work, I'm building this van up. I gotta get my meal preps in too. I gotta eat a lot of calories. I'll eat until I pass out. 5, 6 hours of sleep, bang, wake up, do it all over again. So there really isn't much room for procrastination here. Everything's gotta be on a good schedule, and we have a really good one right now. Creating the discipline is rooted off of having a good schedule, and this van is definitely getting me a good schedule. Because if I spend an entire day laying in bed, just bed rotting, doom scrolling, my back is gonna hurt, I'm gonna be suffering. I'm not gonna have much to do anyways. I'm just gonna watch this van get really dirty really quick. And then I'm just laying there with the thought that nothing is getting built, nothing is getting done, nothing's getting cleaned, I'm not getting my meal preps in, nothing gets accomplished. Right here, right now, I am forced to stay productive. The van is so small, and it gives me the thought that I'm here for one thing, and that's to just get my meal preps in and hit the gym and get somewhat of a decent night's sleep. And because the van is so small, there's one thing that's surprisingly easier. In a normal house, it's easier to tell yourself, I'll do it later. I'll go to the gym later. I'll clean later. I'll meal prep later. You don't have that option because it's right there for you to reach. I can reach everything that I can reach. My alarm goes off in the morning, boom, my coffee's ready, bang, start my coffee. By the time I fill my bed up, my coffee's already cooked, pour it in the cup, bang, I'm at the gym. I do my workout, I do my stretching, go inside the van, start breakfast, I make breakfast, drive to work, bang, work starts. I'm at work for the rest of the day. get off work, clean a quick mess, get my tools ready, bang, then I start doing the van build. Eat my meals in between building the van. Simple pimple. It's all right there for me to just reach for. And the discipline is just forced into you. And if I'm not disciplined, then the consequences show up really quick. It's hard to ignore a mess right in front of your face. And it's just simplifying my routine. I got my life down to a science now. Here's what I mean. This is exactly why I live in a van. You see how quick that was? I wasn't sitting around driving all day. I was actually getting stuff done. Most people are still asleep, and I already got 2 meals in and a whole 2.5-hour gym session finished. I'm not wasting time driving all the way across town. Without this setup, I would either be sacrificing sleep or I'd be sacrificing the gym. I'd be sacrificing meal prep. People always assume that tiny spaces are harder to clean, but honestly, it's the opposite. You get dirty really quick, but like I said, everything is within arm's reach. Before I go into work, I don't clean anything. Everything goes in the sink, and then after work, it all gets cleaned. To do my dishes, to fill up my water jug, to pack my gym clothes for tomorrow, to change my clothes, sweep the floor, vacuum, clean the counter, organize my pantry. That takes me about 25 minutes. Folding the blankets. No, I don't fold blankets. That was a lie. You're living in a house though. Cleaning will feel like a freaking project. Living in a van doesn't really even feel like cleaning. It feels like I'm just resetting the room. The smaller the space, the less amount of time you gotta maintain it. Cleaning is probably the most underrated benefit. People think that messy spaces are harder to clean because they get messier fast, and that's true, but it's not harder. I can make this place look destroyed in like 5 minutes and then have it cleaned right up in another 5 minutes. The thing I've realized is that living in a tiny space removes a lot of unnecessary decisions. I don't spend 20 minutes walking around the house, deciding where I'm gonna sit, stalling because I don't wanna do anything, petting the cat, cuddling with the dog. I can't do any of that. What am I gonna do? Scoot my chair around? yeah, that wouldn't work. I'm not even gonna try. I don't have closets full of stuff. This is my only closet. It's literally like really small. So I don't have closets full of stuff that I forgot. Everything I own has a purpose. There's one thing in this van that does not belong here, and it's probably gonna get thrown out real soon because it's just gonna become clutter. That simplicity has made it easier to focus on things that I truly care about. Going to the gym, going to work, building the van, making videos. This whole van situation is actually teaching me how to travel very light. I usually travel internationally 1 to 2 times a year, and let me tell you, all I need now is a backpack. I don't need to bring on a carry-on, backpack, jeans, t-shirts, toothbrush, passport, phone charger. That's really it. I've done a lot of packing, trust me. So I like to think that I travel light, especially with work too. I'm a carpenter, so I need to be working with a lot of different tools. But I learned that the smaller the tool is, the more room you got in your bag. So I have all these different types of realms of traveling light. If I were to live in an apartment, I'd have so much stuff that I don't use, and I never would learn how to travel light, basically. 80 square feet I am living in right now. Do I really need a 24-inch Chinese gong? It's cool, but I don't really need it. In here, everything has a purpose. Gym clothes, tools, work clothes, food, and that's it. Bed, a little junk drawer, tiny little junk drawer. It's not even a junk drawer, it's pretty organized. Something in here is not gonna earn its place, and something else is gonna replace it, and it's gonna go into the garbage. And that mindset has carried over to the rest of my life. Don't get me wrong, van life isn't easy. I have to do other chores other than just cleaning the van. I gotta charge my van through a shore cord. I gotta dump water out of my AC unit. I gotta fill up fuel from my heater. I got a gray water tank that I gotta dump, and then I gotta refill fresh water into my sink. I have some chores that I gotta do here and there that I wouldn't normally do in a house, but still beating that drive time. And I've ran into a lot of complicated issues too, like my generator, not able to charge my van, and I just ended up sleeping in the cold because the van ran out of power. My inverter has a safety feature on it where if it gets below 20 volt, if it gets below 12 volts, the fridge will shut off because the fridge is 120 volts and it's an inverter from 120 to 12 volts. So the fridge will shut off pretty early. And there was one time my food went bad and I just had to recook new food. So yeah, there's problems. I've definitely spent a lot of time talking about the negatives in van life, but I forgot to mention the stuff that actually makes van life a lot better. When I first started van life, it really sucked because it literally looked like a homeless man shack, and nobody could really see the vision that I saw. But now that the van is actually coming together, people can actually look at the van and be like, oh wow, this looks kind of cool, instead of just acting like it's cool. But it's nice that I can have this lifestyle that keeps me moving. Really, the only time I'm in my van is when I'm editing or filming or making food or eating or driving. That's really it. So I'm not really bothered by the fact that I can't stand up. If I really want to stand up, I'm in a campground right now. I can go for a walk right now if I wanted to. Not because living in a van is easy, but because it makes the things that matter the most to me a whole lot easier. I'm not trying to convince anyone to move into a van. You gotta have a very certain schedule in order to live in a van and achieve it. Unless you want to travel, sure, get a van if you want. I don't care. That's cool. If you're not using a van to travel, honestly, for a lot of people, it wouldn't really make sense because most people are going to the same office every single day. There's definitely days where I miss having a normal kitchen, and I definitely miss having the freedom to walk around in an apartment, using an actual household bathroom as opposed to having to use public bathrooms or my little toilet here. But for this chapter of my life, this lifestyle gives me exactly what I need. More time, more discipline, less distractions. It's not the easiest way to live, but it's made the things that I care about the most a whole lot easier. And for me, that's the easiest part about van life.